Today, we're taking a data-driven look at how the Northern Virginia housing market closed out 2025 and, more importantly, what the outlook looks like for 2026. If you're thinking about buying or selling this year, this is the context you need to make smart decisions. The Northern Virginia real estate market in 2025 marked a clear transition year. After several years of extreme competition, rapid price growth, and very compressed decision timelines, the market shifted into a more balanced environment. In 2025, over 28,500 homes sold across Northern Virginia. That's a modest 0.8% increase year over year. That level of activity is notable, especially given higher interest rates and broader economic uncertainty. At the same time, home prices continued to rise. The average sales price reached just under $828,000, up 4.4% from the year before. Price growth did slow compared to the boom years, but it landed right where economists like to see it, in a healthy and sustainable range. One of the clearest signs of normalization was how long homes took to sell. Average days on market increased to 23 days, giving buyers more breathing room and reducing the urgency that defined prior years. And while competition cooled, it didn't disappear. Homes still sold for an average of about 99% of list price, showing that properly priced homes continue to perform well. These trends were driven by a few key factors. More homes came on the market, giving buyers more choices than they had during the previous hyper-competitive years. Mortgage rates remained elevated compared to the ultra-low rates of the early 2020s. And broader economic events, including mass federal layoffs and an extended government shutdown, shook buyer confidence in ways that are unique to the DMV region. The takeaway is buyer demand didn't disappear in 2025. Buyers became more selective and began flexing their regained power in the market. Homes still sold, prices still rose, but speed was no longer guaranteed and negotiation returned to the process. Now, let's talk about the year ahead. According to the 2026 Regional Housing Market Forecast, released by the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors and economists at George Mason University, the outlook for 2026 points to continued balance and steady growth. Home prices across Northern Virginia are expected to continue rising in 2026, but at a measured and sustainable pace. Instead of dramatic swings, economists are forecasting steady appreciation driven by strong long-term demand, high household incomes, and Northern Virginia's proximity to Washington, D.C. It may not be what every homeowner wants to hear, but this type of price growth is actually healthier for the market overall. It supports equity growth without pushing affordability further out of reach. Mortgage rates are expected to remain relatively stable in 2026, likely averaging around 6%. While that's higher than buyers would prefer, stability is powerful. Predictable rates allow buyers to plan and sellers to price with confidence. They also reduce the wait-and-see paralysis that slowed activity in 2024 and 2025. Even modest rate improvements could bring additional buyers off the sidelines, especially those who paused rather than exited the market entirely. Inventory is expected to continue increasing gradually, which should keep competition more balanced than what we experienced during the peak frenzy years. That means less intense bidding wars and more time for buyers to evaluate homes. Northern Virginia remains a collection of hyper-local markets. Well-priced homes in popular neighborhoods that are properly marketed will still attract attention quickly. Overpriced or poorly presented homes, on the other hand, will likely sit much longer. For sellers in 2026, the data paints a clear picture. The market is still strong, but it rewards strategy, correct pricing, Proper preparation and strong marketing will be essential. The days of testing aspirational pricing are behind us, but sellers who align with market realities can still achieve excellent results. For buyers, 2026 is shaping up to be an opportunity-driven year. Buyers will have more choices, more negotiating power, and fewer pressure cooker deadlines than in years past. With more inventory and stable rates, buyers may be in a position to negotiate and find the right home. Preparation will pay off. 2025 showed us that Northern Virginia's housing market is resilient through changing conditions. And looking into 2026, the forecast suggests a market defined by balance, opportunity, and informed decision-making rather than frenzy and extremes. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or just want to understand what these trends mean for your specific neighborhood, we are always happy to talk through your options.